in today's video, we're going to be talking about the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors for you folks today. We're going to get into, obviously, we're going to finish the Brian Branch thing because of the NFL referees. A little part of that. I'm going to get into the injury front, in which right now we're a little bit banged up, but help is definitely on its way. We're going to get into PFF, 7 players that the Lions should trade for. We'll go over those players and all. But before we get into today's video, in the comment section, place hashtag FREFs. Why is that? Why not? Let's go ahead and get into the first story here, and this is what we're talking about here. During that game, it is confirmed that New York is the one that threw the flag a minute and 17 seconds after the play done with Jared Goff getting thrown the football versus the Chiefs. Now, that's not supposed to happen. That's against the rules. And Dan Campbell said, yes, it came from New York. That's what the referees told him. That's inexcusable. You know, this is the situation here where when it comes to the game in the NFL, it has to be equal. You can't throw a flag from New York because of the betting and everything. It ruins the reputation, and it looks terrible. You're not supposed to do that. It's against the rules, their own rules that they set. What will happen about this? I'm going to say nothing happens, because nothing ever happens. So I would just say keep an eye on. And that's when it comes to facing teams like Kansas City. You have to blow them out. You can never leave it up to the refs, because we've seen it 10,000 times over. We can go back to picking up the flag with Pettigrew. We can go all the way to the Falcons game, the Chicago game with Calvin Johnson, a million times over, right? So hashtag FREFs. Why is that? Because why not? Let's get into Brian Branch here, because it doesn't dissolve Brian Branch. Now, he put in to try to get his suspension lifted. It didn't work. He's going to get suspended because he punched Juju Smith-Schuster in the face. And look, he was going to get suspended. That was the case, right? I knew it was going to be the case. You all knew it was going to be the case. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I really don't, because I already did. He'll learn his lesson. Brian Branch, I do think, will be humbled from this and come back a better player. Same thing happened to Jameson Williams. So I'm not going to continue to harp on Brian Branch. It's time for him, though, to grow up. He's not going to be in the game on Monday night. The Lions signed a couple of players. Potentially could be without Kerby Joseph as well. That's the situation that we're in right now. Now, if you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're dealing with a lot of injuries as well. Still, that's what happens, right? The Lions are 5.5-point favorites. I do think they pull off the win because of the injuries for both teams. It's not like it's just the Lions. Dan Campbell spoke to the media, and he wants to give David Montgomery the ball more because he didn't get much during the Kansas City game. I think, to be honest with you, that was more of a situational. So far throughout the season, we've had games where Montgomery was dominant in the games and Jahmyr Gibbs was not, and vice versa. Montgomery will get his. I wanted him to be in the game more versus the Chiefs. I thought that was more of a David Montgomery game, and that's where I take potentially the failure, for John Morton, whoever came up with the idea of giving it more to Gibbs. I wanted to see more for Montgomery in that game, but hey, everybody makes mistakes. It is what it is. Nobody's perfect. I don't want to force Montgomery in any game. If it is a game, say Tampa Bay, he's on fire. Just leave him in the game. But if there's a game where he's not, then don't force it. Sometimes one back is in the hot, sometimes it's not. We have to be kind of relaxed with that. It's the same thing with everyone said we need to have Jameson Williams need to have more yards. If the offense is humming and we're putting up 30-some points a game, players are going to be without because you got so much talent on this offense. And that's how I put it with the run game, too. Sometimes it's just not going to, everyone's going to get the touches. You have so much talent in this team. It's hard to do it. It's just hard. This doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just difficult to do. So, I mean, it is what it is right there. It is what it is. Do me a favor, folks. Hit that subscribe button. The road to 100,000 is 7,000 away. So if you can do me a favor and smash that sub button and help out, that would be fantastic. Now let's go ahead and get into PFF. Has 7 players that the Detroit Lions would trade for. My bottom says 5 targets. It's 7. The first 2 players that PFF has the Lions trading for are Rasul, Douglas, and Trey Hendrickson. We'll just start with the Trey Hendrickson first. He's going to be pursued by multiple teams. And right now I'm hearing San Francisco. Why is that? Well, they just lost their pass rusher for the year. They lost Nick Bosa. They lost Fred Warner as well. And I can see them going all out. They did that with Chase Young a couple years ago, trading for the pass rusher to get to the Super Bowl. Trey Hendrickson to Detroit seems like an absolute long shot that I don't see happening at all. The Lions have a lot of issues in the cap next year. Even though Trey Hendrickson wouldn't screw up for next year, it's a 1-year deal. You would have to give up probably a second-round pick to get him. I don't think the Lions would do a second-round pick for a 3/4 of the year deal. Don't think that's going to be the case. So I'm not getting my hopes up. Here's Rasul Douglas, the cornerback out of Miami. Corners are going to be on this list because the Lions are currently dinged up. We just picked up Kyle Fuller, and I think that's a great signing. Matter of fact, because of that signing, I don't think the Lions need to make a trade for a cornerback at all. Here's why I say this. Yes, we're dinged up right now. DJ Reed, we got Terrion Arnold. The list goes on. After the bye week, everybody is going to be back. Everybody. I mean, literally, the whole team is going to be back after the bye week. So, there's no reason right now, if they picked up a Kyle Fuller, who I really like, that can be your fill-in. That could be your backup. I don't see a real reason to make a trade now. Love the signing. That, to me, removed the cornerback need. He's going to help out. And he can help out not just, when there's injuries, but he could be here when the injuries are not here. So you just have great depth. So I don't see that's going to be the case. Let's get into the other players that they have the Lions trading for. And now in no particular order, we've went over a lot of these players. A lot. I do like Woolen and Alontae Taylor. But like I just was telling you in regards to Rasul Douglas, we just picked up Kyle Fuller. So I don't see a real need now at the cornerback position. Unless there's an injury before the trade deadline. If we get injured again, okay. Because as of right now, it doesn't seem like it, right? Pass rushers is what I would be looking at. 1,000%. 1,000%. So you have Jaelen Phillips here, Arden Key, Kayvon Thibodeaux. We've heard all those names. Matter of fact, I think I made the video about it 2 days ago with 3 of those guys in here. They all make sense. It's not going to cost you much at all to get him, except for Kayvon Thibodeaux. That will cost you a little bit higher because he's performing at such a high level. I'm not going to lie. I'd try any 3 of these. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Now you say, Mike, the pass rush is good right now. Yes, it is. But why not have an elite? We got Alim McNeill coming back. Yes, Monday night. Aiden Hutchinson, Alim McNeill, Tariq Williams, DJ Reader. We have Al-Qadim Mohammed. Let's do one more. One more guy. Because you have Davenport, who's in and out of injuries. If you were to get a Key or a Phillips or a Thibodeaux, you can have the most dominant defensive line in football. And what happens when you have a dominant defensive line? You get after the pass rusher. You win football games. You win in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. We're really dominant in the offensive line. We've been dominant. Let's get extremely dominant on the defensive line and take this to a Super Bowl. I'm not concerned about the loss that we had last week. We are injured. I'm not worried about specifically too much games as of this point. It is at the end of the year when we're getting to the playoffs. We need to have all hands on deck. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. Wouldn't you love to have an extremely talented defensive line like that to get after a quarterback? In the comments, give me a name who you would love to trade for. I don't care who it is. Give me a name. Anybody. I throw a name out there for me. I mean, it just depends on what they want to give up. But I want a dominant team. I want to win a Super Bowl. And we're close. And we can do it. So give me your thoughts in the comments below. With that said, folks, adios.